Hey guys, it's Marshall from Going Gear, and I'm here today in our retail store in Smyrna, Georgia. For those of you that didn't realize, we do have a retail location. We only have one. We don't have a separate warehouse or anything. It's all done out of this single place. I'll show you around here in a little bit, but I wanted to give you an idea of what we're going to do here today. So in the past, I've talked about very specific topics. I've talked about specific flashlights and reviewed those, specific backpacks and reviewed those, and I've compared different items, but it's usually very focused reviews or very focused videos. So I'm going to start a new series of videos that I'm just going to call the Going Gear videos. So they're going to be more broad, open-ended, general topics. The first one here, I'm just going to give you an idea about the history of Going Gear, give you a little bit of an idea of my background, and show you around the store a little bit, just so you can see the kind of stuff that we stock. Because again, this is it. We only have one location currently. Hopefully we'll expand in the future, but for now, this is it. So the other kind of videos that we're going to do in the series are going to be things like selecting a flashlight, selecting a knife, how to start a fire, talk about compass skills, talk about different jackets that you can wear for different situations. So really broad, open-ended topics instead of the very focused ones that I did in the past. So again, this is the first one, and we're just going to talk about Going Gear. So I don't really talk about this very often, but I am the owner of Going Gear. I don't know why I don't talk about it. I'm not ashamed of the fact or anything. I'm actually pretty proud of my little company. Great employees, great customers, great products, but for some reason I never really say that I'm the owner. But hi, I'm Marshall. I'm the owner of Going Gear. So I'm going to pepper that in a few times because I figure I'm talking about Going Gear. I should probably say that I am the owner. But just to give you a little bit of an idea of my background, graduated from Georgia Tech in 2003, worked for some really large corporations, multi-billion-dollar corporations. Did that for a while. Got kind of tired of it. It's pretty soul-crushing. I mean, they were good companies, but I don't know. I just never really had a lot of fun working for those companies. So I decided to go for a lot smaller business. So I went and ran the online business for a little local retailer called the Gear Revival, owned by a friend of mine, Mitch. At the time, they still do this stuff, but they sell used goods. So used outdoor gear, tents and backpacks and jackets and that kind of stuff. They'll take it on consignment, they'll buy it from you, and they still do all this. So if you're interested in anything like that, definitely go check them out. They're down on Marietta Street in Atlanta. They also sell full price stuff, but a really cool little company. So if you're into the outdoors, go check out the Gear Revival. But anyway, while I was working there, I kept on seeing these pop up on a bunch of the forums that I frequent. So what this is it's a fire steel or a ferro rod or metal match or whatever you want to call it. It's a mixture of metals, a bunch of rare earth metals, and some other stuff. And when you take a sharp edge and scrape it along it, you'll see some sparks fly off like that. And you use those to start a fire. You've probably seen these on survival shows if you've never owned one yourself, like Man vs. Wild and Survivor Man and all those kind of guys. They love these things. And so do I. But I was trying to find some different sizes for a project I was working on, and I couldn't find them. So I thought, hey, maybe I should start selling these. So while I was working at Gear Revival, decided to start selling these, and it kind of took off from there. So I did that as a side job for a while until it got to the point that it was a full-time job. Started selling other survival items, so I was selling paracord, little waterproof capsules, picked up some survival kits and whistles, and just other small, easy-to-ship items, because at first I was doing all this out of my house. So we did gun shows for a while, starting in 2009. If you're not familiar with what the concept of a gun show is, you international guys probably have no idea what I'm talking about, and I know a lot of the other parts of the country don't have these. It's a pretty uniquely southern thing, even though I know other parts of the countries have it, but we really get into our gun shows here in Georgia and in the South. But what they are a place to pretty much go and buy guns. So a bunch of dealers show up, individuals show up, and to buy rifles and handguns and shotguns and all that kind of stuff. So started selling survival items there because at the time, you know, everybody didn't think it was going to be the end of the world quite yet. So I was one of the few guys selling survival items with the shows. So that did pretty well for me. But again, I was running it out of my house. I didn't want to get divorced because I had all these giant piles of survival items and flashlights everywhere in my house. And I am married. And everything was piling up in our kitchen and our living room and everything because we carried a pretty decent amount of items. So I decided to open up a retail store. So I wanted to get brands like Arc'teryx here, Suunto, Salomon, Petzls, Petzl. There's just Petzl, not Petzls. Really great brands that I wanted to carry, but you have to have a retail store. And because of the flashlights, which I started selling back in 2009, a little bit before I started doing the gun shows, the business had kind of exploded. You know, we were doing pretty well, getting all these new items, doing pretty well online and everything. And I wanted a store where I could concentrate all this stuff and be able to get all these brands that I wanted. So in 2010, the spring of 2010, we opened up this store here. It's pretty small. You'll see when we walk around, everything's pretty crammed in here. If you've seen all the items that we have on our website, people are always impressed at how many of them we've got in here. And honestly, it's all of them, because this is our only location. There's no warehouse, there's no other locations. We're not a franchise. This is it for right now. So I've shown you a few different angles of the store. We're going to walk around a little bit here and just show you the kind of stuff we stock here in our store. We're closed right now, so I don't know how well all this is going to show up, but it's getting kind of dark out there. But that's out the front of our store. One thing that's kind of cool is out there is the Silver Comet, which, if you're not familiar with the Silver Comet, is a rails to trails trail, which you can ride your bike on here from Metro Atlanta all the way out to Alabama, which is kind of cool. And it starts right out there in front of our store, so that's nice. So if you're not familiar with the area, we're at the corner of South Cobb Drive and East-West Connector. If you're in the area, please come by. We'd love to have you. We love having customers in the store and checking things out. So we're just going to kind of walk around the store and show you the kind of stuff that we stock. There's one of our displays. You can see all the Benchmade Griptilians down there. Suunto watches, some other knives. There's an Icebreaker Tech T-Lite. Best t-shirts in the world. Those things are awesome t-shirts. But here's our register and all that kind of stuff. One thing that attracts a lot of people to our store is our knife selection, which is kind of depressing because, well, I guess we do have a lot of knives, but I remember when I was a kid, you'd be able to go to knife stores, and you don't really see many of those anymore. You know, places that are just completely dedicated to knives. But we do stock a lot of knives. So I mean, we have Benchmade. We're a Premier Plus dealer, so we stock pretty much the full line of Benchmade products. Spyderco, Boker down there on the bottom. Just got Zero Tolerance in. Really good knives from them. Leatherman up here, CRKT, Condor, K-Bar, all kinds of different brands, and we're always bringing more stuff in. You can see we're pretty much out of room, so we're probably about out of knife brands for the moment until we get a bigger store, which we are working on. So over here, have the hammocks, a bunch of stuff sacks. We'll walk down this aisle. There you can see all the backpacks that we stock. We stock Camelback, Osprey, Arc'teryx, and Maxpedition stuff, and I'll show you those here a little bit better. All the bottles, we stock all kinds of different bottles because hydration is really important. Walking down here, start getting into the water treatment. So you have SteriPens, water filters, and then stoves down in here. So all kinds of different stoves, all the accessories you need for them. My personal favorite, Jetboils. They're a lazy man's dream. I'll do a review on those eventually. But here's all the Maxpedition stuff. We have a really great selection of Maxpedition. Probably in Atlanta and probably in the Southeast. I don't know of anybody that stocks more of the stuff than we do. So you can see we stock almost their full line of products. And there's the flashlights. We'll come back to that because that's what everybody knows and loves. But we'll look around the rest of the store first. So here's your camp kitchen kind of items. Here's your utensils, saws and axes and hatchets and tools and just basic tool kind of stuff. Here you get into all our fire starting products, which you can see we have a whole 8-foot section pretty much dedicated to that. Not quite, maybe 5 or 6 feet, but there's a whole lot of different fire starting products because I love starting fires, and that is how I started the business, so we still do a lot of that kind of stuff. Then we have the whistles. There's some pepper spray down on the bottom. More stuff up top. Guess I'm not showing all that stuff very well. And then over here on the other side, you start getting into your first aid kind of items. Some little easy to grab items. But here's all the first aid stuff, personal care, so your sunscreen and insect repellent. Paracord, another one of our first items. Still sell a ton of that stuff. But all the night eye stuff, all the million different kinds of gear ties. Gear pods, really cool way to store your gear, build your own survival kit. And down here you have some containers and backpacker's pantry, towels, all kinds of stuff. Clearance section back there. Jackets, so Arc'teryx jackets, really high-end stuff, really awesome stuff. If you haven't, you can't tell by now, we try to stick to the premium stuff. Don't really like focusing on the low end. We like to have the high-end stuff because it is the best. Sometimes you have to pay a little bit more, but I think you definitely get a better product. So Salomon shoes, Keen shoes. We just picked up Five Fingers, so we have those as well. And of course, all this stuff is on the website. And when we get more room, we will have more. There's some socks over there, a bunch of socks. We love socks. And more jackets. Here's all the lady stuff down here. T-shirts. So we have Icebreaker, Salomon, and Arc'teryx right now. Those are the brands we're stocking for apparel. And then up front, Got gloves and hats, Right in the Rain stuff, bandanas, more Right in the Rain stuff. Also love Right in the Rain, they make really cool stuff. Big flashlights. And then let's walk back here because everybody loves the flashlights. This is the reason a lot of people come to the store, is our flashlight display. So when I went to flashlight, or I say flashlight stores, I don't know of any flashlight stores, but stores that sold flashlights, you always want to try these things out. I mean, the whole purpose of them is to create light. So you're looking at them in the packaging and you have no idea what these things can do. So this is something I started doing. We started doing the gun shows, is we had the lights out on display. We put little information cards next to them so you could see the lumens, information about the light, real basic stuff that most people want to know. You know, I put all that information out next to it and people were kind of blown away. And I was honestly kind of shocked. I mean, you're buying a product, you want to know what it does. I was kind of surprised more people didn't do that. But when I opened the retail store, we decided to do the same thing. So we have all our flashlights on display. Well, I say all of our flashlights. This is probably about a third of the models that we stock. we ran out of room, and we have 16 feet dedicated to flashlights. But they're all on retractable lanyards, so people don't drop them on the ground, and they don't walk away. But more so people don't drop them on the ground. But that's just one side. We'll flip over to the other side. There's the rest of the flashlights. So there's the larger ones, your more tactical lights, and your big throwers and that kind of stuff. But we try to keep the more popular lights out. You can see still a ton of models, but this isn't everything we stock. We stock more than this, but these are definitely the more popular ones that we have out, or the ones we have in stock. Because sometimes the customer will really want a light, so we'll have to pull the display for them. But that's our flashlight display. And here's some more stuff back here. I guess I forgot to mention. Got your Thermarest sleeping pads, tents. That's where all the magic happens. That's our shipping area and our mini warehouse. So it's an itty bitty little warehouse that we managed to cram a whole ton of gear into. And then some sleeping bags. We stock a few different brands of sleeping bags as well. I want to take one last wistful look at our fire starting stuff. I've been into camping and hiking and backpacking and all that kind of stuff since I was a little kid. Been doing all this stuff since I was 3 or 4 years old. I've always been into the outdoors. I've always loved starting fires. Completely responsibly, of course, but there's all our fire starting stuff again. That's how I started the company. And we are definitely going to keep on focusing on that stuff because, hey, fire's fun. So this is our store, Smyrna, Georgia. Our address, if you need it, is 4480 South Cobb Drive, Southeast, Suite U as an umbrella. Smyrna, Georgia 30080. Of course, that's in the U.S. We're in a Publix shopping center. If you're not very familiar with the area, corner of South Cobb Drive, east-west connector. Publix, great grocery store. If you've never been to a Publix, I love them. I won't shop anywhere else. And we're right in one of their nice little shopping centers. So if you're in the area, please stop by. We love having customers in here. We love talking about our products. Even if you're not into the stuff, please come in. We'll get you into the products. You want to talk about flashlights or knives or fire starters or anything. We're all very enthusiastic about our products, very enthusiastic about doing all the stuff with the products. We love hiking and camping and shooting and doing all that kind of stuff outside. But for right now, this is our only location. No other warehouse, no other franchises or anything like that. If I had more space, probably wouldn't have shoes up there. Probably wouldn't have all the stuff in the back that we have in the back. I swear I get selective amnesia sometimes. When I see something new and cool and shiny, I'm like, man, I've got to get that in here. So I order it, and then after it ships, I'm like, we probably don't really have the room for that in here. But we always make it work. I have great employees. Casey, my store manager, and the rest of the guys, they all do a really good job of keeping this place nice and neat and organized and clean. Which is pretty impressive, I think, considering the amount of stuff that we stock in this tiny little space. And that is something we're working on. We're working on getting a larger location because I love to be able to spread all this stuff out. I love to be able to bring in more flashlights and knives and jackets and fire starters and all that stuff and spread it out, display it a little bit better, put out the tents, and do all that kind of stuff. So that is something we're working on doing, but for right now, this is it. So again, this is the first in a series of videos. It's going to be the Going Gear videos, more general, broad topics. I'm going to try to do these every Sunday or so, give or take. I may miss a week every now and then. I may do 3 or 4 in a week. Who knows? I have a newborn at home. She's about 5 months old. I guess maybe she's not newborn at this point. She's an infant, but she kind of throws a wrench in things sometimes. So I'll try to do it every week, but sometimes I may not get to it. But I'll do my best. But again, thanks for watching. Thanks for being customers. Thanks for being subscribers. We appreciate everything you guys give us. Thank you.